Alright, what's up, Wolfpack? I forgot to charge this camera, so I don't know how much I'll be able to talk about. But we got incline press. I think I got some stuff to talk about, but I'm gonna hit this warm-up set first, get it out of the way. Got a plate on each side, and it's 12 pounds to begin with, so about 100, 102. Alright. Actually, let me move up the seat just a tad. Not that much. There we go. Okay. Let me throw on 25 and then we'll get into what I want to talk about. Alright. But the thing I really wanted to talk about today, which I did a little bit of thinking on last night, was that the music that you listen to kind of has some level of manifestation of how you act in a day-to-day basis. And, for example, if you've kept up with me long enough on this channel, you guys would know that freshman year of high school was one of the was the worst year of my life. I was doing nothing to try and fix kind of the stuff I didn't like, which was, like zero socialization, and my academics were kind of mid. But I would put myself down in cases where I didn't like it. And something I recognized was that during the time period where I was kind of most sad, which was probably 7th grade and 9th grade, that was when I really started listening to a lot of like emo rap, like Juice WRLD, X, just anybody you could think of in like the emo rap scene, and even like some like punk rock, like MGK, which it kind of sucks that I have to admit to that in my opinion, but I'm speaking the truth here. But to some extent, the music you listen to kind of it normalizes how you act, or it normalizes the emotion that it gives off, which makes you it makes you more willing to act in the way that you want to act. So like, I think the reason I bring up my past is because like Juice WRLD and all these people would have some sad ass songs. I was like, oh, this feeling that I'm feeling right now is fine. And it kind of made it feel like I could, like I found like a level of comfort in me being sad. If that makes sense. And for another example, one of my friends is very, very much an angry person. Like everything where I kind of preach positivity and kind of preach just being a more happier person. He's kind of the complete opposite of that. Very much like, if like eye for an eye, if you wrong me, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna retaliate and stuff like that. But I think of all the songs that he's played around me, and all of them are like angry music. Like he listens to a lot of like drill music, which if you don't know, it's just a bunch of angry shit. Like maybe I probably won't play the clip. I don't really want to get copyrighted, but like it's really angry levels of music. And I think, going back to what I said, I think the music that you listen to kind of just normalizes that that emotion that the music portrays. And I think the only reason it does normalize it is because a lot of the times we look up to these people. Like I used to look up to all the people who I said I listened to back then because they made stuff that I liked. And I think that's kind of what makes it so normalized. It's like we listen to people we valued, and we listen to these people that bring us like an emotion that we like to some level, whether it's a good emotion or a bad emotion. And we go back for more because we like it, and then as we go back for more, it makes it more and more normalized. So my proposition is that you should listen to some happier music. you know oh, I like right now the music taste I have isn't like, it's not like like only happy music. Like there's gonna be, and not every song you're gonna listen to is gonna be one emotion. But a lot of the music that I personally listen to is very much like, oh, I'm the shit, like super egotistical music. And like even now, like me as a person, I will admit that I am very egotistical. Maybe I don't show it. Maybe I'm not gonna come to people and be like, yeah, I'm better than you. But if any of my friends, say something positive about me, I'm going to glorify the shit out of it. And I'm going to say, oh yeah, it's because I'm just so great. And, I think you could definitely make the argument that the music that I make, or not that I make, that I listen to, is kind of a reason why I like to think this way and why I kind of do and say the things I say. And the thing that really kind of sent that home was I believe an interview with Future, a rapper, if you don't know. And when he was, I don't know what he's asked. I'll show the clip when I feel like showing, or in the editing.
Zans and Lean and all the shit sounds.
Yeah, bro. Like when I heard Future, the first song I ever heard by Future was "Ain't No Way Around It." The second song I've ever heard by Future is "Dirty Sprite," like off the first Dirty Sprite mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit had me wanting to sip lean at like 11, 12 years old, bro.
Yeah.
So, I ain't know if that was what I.
But supposedly, Future told Juice WRLD, who were working at the time, Juice WRLD told Future that the reason he started doing drugs was because of Future's music. And I think at the time Future said that kind of hit different, like it was like a scary kind of thing. But like that, I think that's even more proof that to some extent the stuff that we listen to and the people we value in life and the stuff that they have, whether it's like a vice or something that's a good emotion or some healthy habit, because we value these people so much and we consume a lot of the stuff that we value from these people, it normalizes their way of living. And that's why we start to do the things that we do. Maybe I went on for a long rant there, but if you want to disagree with me, feel free to leave it in the comments. But I'm gonna hit this first working set. I'm gonna talk about some more just stuff that's going on within my life. But I have more topics to discuss, but I want to save them for the second exercise. I threw a 25 on this after the first warm-up set. So if I get like 6, it'll be positive set. If not, so be it. I'll probably still go up either way. All right, real question for you guys. Hopefully, someone knows. But I'm trying to, because I'm doing incline, I'm trying to target my upper chest here. Is this outer grip or is the inner grip gonna be better for my chest? Because I know inner grip, the only reason I think it might be a little better is because, your arm path is more, I don't know the word for it, but like it's kind of stacked. Where, a flared out elbow, it's not as stacked. So help me out there if you can. If not, so be it. But I'll do some research either way. We'll throw on another plate. Took off the 25. All right. Some updates. If you've kept up with me, you guys would know normally I do a stream I try to do a stream on Wednesday and then one on Saturday. But as of recording this, which is Thursday, I didn't do that stream, but I'm gonna do one tonight. Either you are gonna see this beforehand, and maybe you want to tune in to the stream, or you'll see this afterwards, and the VOD will be on YouTube, and maybe I'll link the Vod channel that I have where you can see all the streams that I've done. But if you want to stop by, please do. I'm gonna be trying Subnautica 2. That low-key run, I'm gonna be honest, that was kind of sick. But if you want to tune in the stream, there'll be a link tree. You can watch the Twitch if you want. Okay. Fist bump. My bad. Oh yeah, some good news for the people who've kept up with me, and you guys know I don't have my license. I drove here. My parents forced me to, so I figured, I didn't figure, but so I did drive here. I'm keeping up with, I would say, 80% of my goals for the summer so far. The bulk, by the way, has been going immaculate. I've been, I would say, at most I'm under 2 to 250 calories, and I'm maybe 100 calories over occasionally. And also I weighed myself a little past 1 week now, but I weighed myself, and we're about, from when we started, I'm up half a pound. I think I'm 186.4 right now. So technically I'm down from the last time I weighed myself, but it's a 1 pound difference. And if to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure your weight can fluctuate a few pounds every day. So I'm not really worried about it. As long as I see this steady growth of about half a pound a week, I would say I'm doing pretty fine. And if you don't know about my bulk, I'm doing this for, I would say, about 4 months. Whenever I head back to college, I'll probably do a week of recomp and then go into a deficit. So as of right now, like I said, bulk's been going great. Which, if you guys want to see a full day of eating, let me know. I was thinking about, going to a grocery store and buying everything that I would eat in a day and give you the macros and all that shit. So let me know. But I'm gonna get this last set out of the way. Actually, I'm gonna take a sip of water. At the end of the day, haven't been hydrating too well today. All right. We got 2 plates each side. If I get 4 or more, it's a good set. No. Whew. I think I did 5 there, so not a bad set. But I'll turn back on the camera when I got another exercise ready. I'll see you guys then. Hopefully this is a good enough camera angle. But we got the second exercise ready. I'm doing a JM press. I've never done a JM press before, I'll be honest. But it's a little busy here today. So I'm just gonna do this. It's actually the last exercise of the workout. And I know, before I get into actually any of the lifting, I know I said I was gonna talk about something else, but I don't think I've thought of it well enough. So I'm gonna actually hold off until at the earliest tomorrow to actually talk about it. And, you know, you can complain all you want, but I feel like I really want to get my point across for this other thing. You know, sneak peek, it's about addiction and all that. But I want to at least make sure I come off clear enough and have like some level of like a counter argument to what I say, as well as like a better way of articulating what I want to articulate, if that makes sense. So sorry if you were expecting something grand for me to talk about. But anyways, I'm gonna get this potentially warm-up set, potentially working weight set going. I'm just kind of gonna feel it out and see what happens. All right. Yeah, that's absolutely working set weight. Let me maybe move this just back just a tiny bit. And maybe a little more. But yeah, well, so this might be a quick recording, because I didn't really do a warm-up, I would consider. But no biggie. All right. I forgot to tell you guys too. I had 115 on the bar for that first set. But now I need to think of stuff to talk about. I wish I did a little bit more planning out. But I think my first point that I came across, or that I talked about today, was honestly really good. I think you guys, whoever's watching, will get basically what I'm trying to say. I think I articulated it very well and kind of gave some reasoning. And hopefully when I edit this video, you know, it kind of adds to it, which I'm not going to edit much. But I do want to add in that interview that I was talking about a little earlier. You guys get a little behind the scenes look of what I want to, of my thought process with these videos, I guess. Even though, I don't know, I mean, I'm pretty open for pretty much anything. Which, if you guys want me to talk about something, you know, please leave it in the comments, because, you know, it's not like every video that I've had, especially recently more than ever. A lot of these videos are kind of just me saying whatever's going on in my day. Like this one, there's a little bit more thought process within what I wanted to talk about, but most of them, it's just me talking about whatever. So if you want to hear my opinion on something, please leave it in the comments, because I'll absolutely talk about it. But I guess one thing I could talk about, since it kind of came across my mind, is if you keep up to some level of politics, you might know that Zoran Mamdani, the New York City mayor, has recently I believe as of yesterday, brought the city's budget deficit to now a balanced budget, which is really impressive for how the small amount of time he's been in office, in my opinion. Like it hasn't even been half a year yet. Like it's been like a third of a year, and he's done a good amount. I think he is truly looking at New York City long term, and really does want the best for the city. So I absolutely commend Mamdani. But one thing I will say is some of the ways he was able to get this to a balanced budget was a little scary, or not scary, but like it's a little questionable, I would say. Like I believe it's $500 million came from the tax increase on secondary homes over like $5 million, which that one I'm completely fine with. I don't think, you could say all you want about the tax program, but obviously it's working to some extent if he's able to get $500 million. But the bulk of it is $8 billion given from Albany, which it's questionable to an extent because it's like still, I'm pretty sure it's like that $8 billion is for 2 years, and then I don't really know what happens after that. I'm guessing we're gonna have to give back in some way, but to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure we give back or the New York City gives back like $20 billion to New York State like every year. So it's more of just like an offset cost that the state's getting in a way. Because at the end of the day, they're still going to be making a profit. Or I shouldn't say a profit, it sounds like it's a business. But they're still making a great amount of revenue out of New York City. And the last one that I know of, which doesn't cover all 12 billion, the last one that I know of is is New York City delaying its pension contribution, and then they're going to give more later. Which that one, I think most people are like a little questionable about that over everything, because it's a pension, it's a retirement plan, and which, let me make this clear, because when I read this at first, it made me very, very worried. But it's not that the people who are on pension, they're not going to stop getting their pension. If that, like for example, if you're making $5,000 a month off your pension, your pension is not going to be touched. You're still going to be getting that $5,000, each month. But the amount that New York City contributes to like the pool of money to pay out these pensions is being delayed. So don't worry about, I don't know how many retirees watch me. I'll be shocked if any, to be honest. But don't worry about your pension if you have one, because you're going to be fine. But it is a delayed payment to some extent, which I think you can make the argument that it doesn't really make it a balanced budget, because at some point they're going to be paying that money. But as of short term, it technically considers it a balanced budget. So, I would want to say that I keep a close look on Mamdani, but I don't really. If I hear great things about him, I definitely hear it. If I hear new policies, I definitely hear it. But besides that, I don't. This is probably the most I've looked into the negative effects of some of his ideas. So that can show you how much I am politically invested right now with the world, or with the country, I guess. But I do still think that Mamdani is like one of the best things to happen in New York City. I know a lot of people, mainly Republicans, are very, very against Mamdani. And I think a lot of it is some level of racism, to be honest. You know, I would say with everything that Mamdani has done, especially the like Trump meetup that he had a while ago, I think if Mamdani was some level of white, a lot of Republicans would be a lot more on his side. Because I think a lot of people see that he's a Muslim and automatically think the worst, which is crazy, in my opinion. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I would never attack someone for their beliefs unless it is like a criminal offense that they're doing. Like I have a Republican friend of mine that talks about like Muslims being pedophiles. Now, I don't know enough about Muslim culture and the stuff in Islam to, you know, guarantee that that stuff is true or not. But I'm telling you right now, I bet you 99.9% of people who are Muslims are not pedophiles. I think, you know, obviously there's going to be, if it is the case that in the Quran it says something like this, you know, if you wanna let me know. But if it is the case that something like this, like the Quran says something like that, I would say there's a very, very small minority of Islam that follows that. Because at the end of the day, you know, you can say all you want about religion, but to some extent, your beliefs are going to be denied to some extent by how the world thinks, which is why, in my opinion, morality, to some extent, some level of subjective, you know. But I'm getting off track at this point. But a lot of people will view Mamdani's religion I shouldn't say his religion. I don't know what he believes personally. But people will look at his skin color, stereotype him, and then think the worst about that stereotype, which sucks, you know? At the end of the day, you got to look at the policies over his race. If you think he is making good policies and you think he is doing a good job, there is no reason to hate on him. And I think a lot of the people who do hate on him are either ignorant of what he's been doing, or actually, you know what? No, I think it's really just they're just ignorant of what he's doing, and they're looking at stuff that doesn't really matter for New York City. And you know, there's some arguments that I can understand out of people, like with the tax program and how people are like, oh, the billionaires are going to leave or something like that. You know, there's a good chance that they will. Or I shouldn't say a good chance. There is a chance that they will, but there's also a chance that they won't. So I think a lot of the Mamdani hate is unjustified. But with that being said, there's obviously stuff that I think if you only praise him well, I think you're also being ignorant of all the bad things he's done. Now, I think I could be, in a sense, fitting into that category of having a level of ignorance with the bad that Mamdani's done, just because I haven't been fully like aware of what he's been doing. But like, you know, if I hear that he's gonna, or if I hear he's doing something bad, I'm gonna be like, I don't really agree with that. And I think that's how everybody should be. But people are too focused on agreeing with what their party thinks. But let me get this this last set out of the way. You know, if you want to disagree with me in the comments, and I'll give my arguments. But all right, we got 135 on the bar. I think I did like 6 for the first set. So if I can get 5 or more, I'll be happy. Okay. I don't think I'm getting 5 there. I'll be honest that, you know, I could have went to like total failure there, but I don't want to risk it. So I'm not gonna. But for next time, if I ever do this again, we're lowering the weight to some extent. But overall, not mad about that. I honestly had a good fun with that exercise. But that's the end of the video today. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and share with your favorite friends and coworkers. Follow me on other platforms if you want to see my other stuff. There'll be a link tree in the description, which if you want to watch that stream that I talked about earlier, the Twitch will be in that link tree. And make sure you guys do your laundry, and I'll see you tomorrow.